Evening, everyone. And here I am, Richard Fortier, again to speak about some different subject. And today, um, as you know, last week it was the International Day of Women. Then there's like someone just mentioned to me, which I was not aware of, Jordan Peterson. Peterson, I might say not quite correctly, but I think Jordan Peterson from teaching in a university in Ontario, having a cabinet of a psychiatrist. And he's been in trouble because that guy is very controversial. Doesn't say what the government want him to say. Is very um, knowledgeable on many, and no one can corner him because he had the facts. Everything he says is factual, and you can check. And he's been challenged on every side. That guy on every subject, actually on gender, woman, the LGBTQ plus, and name it. And the subject, still election in the state, name it. It's, suicide topic. He's been aborting every aspect of life, and people refer to him for his knowledge. He studied the Bible, and he had a great knowledge about different religion, Muslim, and I really highly recommend anyone who want to see another side of the story to watch him. He's on YouTube. He's having his own platform, and that guy, if he went for against Trudeau for politic purpose, he'll be Prime Minister of Canada and will be in a good hand, according to me. My what I'm seeing in from him, how truly he's talking, and his logic is beautiful. So yeah, I encourage anyone to see another side of a story, or open their mind to hear different thought. Then you may realize that guy is he's having something, his knowledge, and the way he talked to, he reach all kind of people, the very intellectual one to the one they are having a low education, if you want, and the the jargon. I don't know if it's an English word when you say a jargon, but it mean the way he explain things. He will use analogy to make it comprehended to any class of society. So yeah, um, hero in my life, I have one really. I really admired until recently. Uh, but Jordan Peterson, I will put him on the kind of pedestal of it. My book is very knowledgeable and very. Um, it's good to know him, and after that, take for what it is. Make your own judgment, but yeah, you may learn a few good things. Um, so I just first, I've been on different platforms on YouTube, and he's been interviewing from other high-profile person like Tucker Carlson or Joe Rogan. And, those guy has 50 million viewer in the state, and that guy's been on their show. I just assume they don't take any Picky Landa to their show. I mean, very well known people, and I'm afraid I'm a bit of surprised you did heard about him yet. Yeah, but the last 2 years, since COVID really it kicks, he's been stepping up because he has his believing into that. And you know a lot of scientists, and he has his thought about it. So he start to speak out. That's where I get to know him, then follow him in a different aspect because he touch every subject of life. That's quite amazing. And like I mentioned earlier, that guy, you cannot caught him. Some people try to make him compromise himself or say something, retract what he says. No, all he says is backing, and he stood on this position, and it will prove you, not necessarily you're wrong, but it will prove you his point of view, and you will, at the end, you're going to agree or you're going to say, Okay, I rather not go any further with him because it seems like he has the truth all the time. It's just yeah, I like it says, make your own mind about him by watching what he had to say. He's speaking very good English. He's brilliant. That's there's no not much other description I can take. And yeah, if I have only 1/10 of his knowledge about his how many book he could read, history, and I will be super smart. Consider myself a bit smart, but like that, oh man.
Is this something, one example of you thinking one way about a subject and listening to him and he changed your mind? Can you give me one example of that with yourself?
Changing my mind.
You thought one way, listening to him, you now feel a different way.
Not necessarily changing my mind, but open my mind to
Okay.
different aspect of subject. Yeah. For how you see Justin Trudeau or Pierre Poilievre, that guy will say a few things, and you may, oh, I didn't see that way. Oh, that's interesting the way he talked. Then he will not necessarily speculate because speculating it's kind of leaving up to any interpretation, but it will go with facts. It will mention the date and bring back some video in the past. Those people's been caught on tape, so they cannot deny what they say. It will brought those things and analyze them to make you, oh, you may not see that in 2019, but that's been said, and now 2023 it says that. You know, people are not
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting.
they can't. Yeah, it's very very interesting, and he did a lot of conference into a university and in the state here in Canada, and people just loved him. The attendance of his meeting where he goes, it's huge. It's because it's getting famous, because he doesn't disappoint it, except maybe the one they are too radical on one side. They don't want to open their mind, so they will denigrate him or just is not good. Like people, you like Trump or you hate him. There's not much middle ground.
Yeah.
Those facts. So yeah, no, I, yeah.
Do you think he is more of a dialogue? Do you think you should have a conversation with him?
Well,
Be a lecturer, perhaps, or?
I like that question because uh, that that made me thinking about if we, for example, having him right here beside us and having an open conversation with him as one-on-one, if he would take the floor and just try to be always above everything, or he will listen and compromise or leave a bit of a leeway to having a on playing field discussion. So that's something I don't know. I saw him on interview with the other person, and the person is there for answer questions. So it's not much there for debating subject with the interviewer. So the interviewer will ask him, "What do you think about the abortion?" So that guy was going to take the floor and spill it out. Then yeah, it'll be interesting. I think I will love to having a coffee shop somewhere,
Yeah.
a terrace in Paris with him sitting down and having
Yeah.
coffee,
Yeah.
espresso, cappuccino, name it, and having a conversation with him. I
Yeah.
think it'll be very, very interesting.
That would be your dream come true?
Uh,
You like that?
yeah, you know, if you give me maybe 3 or 4 person, I will love to spend an hour or two to
Or 3 or 4?
conversation. Would be one of them, guarantee it.
Yeah.
Then don't ask me the other two. No, seriously.
Well, great question, because I wonder if he would be able to, like you say, have some flexibility and common ground, or whether he'd just go, well, no, this is what I think, this is what I think.
Yeah, I believe that guy, before you answer, many time I watch him, it goes like, take about 2, 3 second pause. Then his brain is like faster than a computer. Then it's just unreal. I very, very, very like the guy and his attitude is not intimidating. It will not like, oh, John, Jordan, I like crazy like that to him if I seen it. I'll be like, oh, I'm pleased to meet you. I will love to having a chat with you, sir. Then, well, yeah, sure. I'm sure he will come just like me. Yeah, let's talk. What do you want to talk about? Hey,
Yeah.
you know. Then
Really great.
every subject, name it, you will come across. Then the subject, like if we talk about BLM, Black Lives Matter, he will talk his piece about it, but he will not promote like dismantle that or do anything wrong to them. He will just explain what is their point of view, what is the general public will think about that. And there's always extremists in every group or more pacific people. So he will kind of make it offer you a few examples, a few things to think about, but it will not give you the final answer of what should be done about it
Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh,
because
good.
he know where to stop. Not necessarily censor itself. It's just to not pushing the envelope to a point to create a very controversial talk and get invited on every plateau and get destroyed. You've been saying that, and that's wrong, and that's promote violence, and
Yeah.
you cannot go like that. So far, anyway, that guy is very intelligent. I think I don't know the IQ of people is ranging apparently 140 or something. That guy's going to be in the 300 something.
Wow. Wow.
I don't.
So what we're saying, if we think equality, we just go, we treat everybody the same.
Yes.
But equity means that some people haven't had the advantages that others have.
Right.
And for many reasons, maybe they have health issues or different things.
Okay.
We can't expect everybody to operate the same way.
I understand.
So the new trend in businesses is to have that equity feeling. Now, initially, years ago, there was sort of a thought that we should introduce people from different cultures and races and women
Right.
as a standard practice, but that was necessary just to start growing this idea. Now we're at a place where does the workplace still honor that, we've got all different types of people? And that is really something about equity. So when we talked with the women's panel, each of them had told me sort of what they were interested in or what we could talk about. And I started with Loretta, who is very passionate about homelessness and mental illness issues. So people are upset because, money is given to people, and they think that doesn't treat everybody equally. So that's why sometimes that equity gets kind of controversial for people. But she made a good point that, they just had a poor start in life, perhaps.
That's quite a subject you
These
brought
are
up
all loaded subjects.
because that one actually Peter
Yeah, I'd be
Jordan
interested.
Peterson have his idea on that, and I tend to agree with him. Is more radical than than you may thought, you may like to hear. In life, it's always been the stronger one got it,
Strong.
Then I like treating people equally. Like I respect you, you respect me. But when it comes to the time, you're having an handicap, or you're born with one leg, or you're having different, or a little mentality, some mental problem. After that, the majority has to change their behavior to accommodate that person, that very minority. It's good to a point. It's like I totally agree having toilet for handicap into a mall, stuff like that. That's totally wrong, right, and automatic door ramp. But at some point, we're having to draw a line to a point like changing the whole world for a minority like that. It's getting to a very picky subject because many people will say, screw them, I don't care. But many other people will say, oh, yeah, we should really, really do something about it. And that's a tough one.
It is. So
Eh,
we'll be interested what Peter Jordison might or Jordan Peterson might say, because the strongest of the fittest is the Darwin model that we've used over the 19th century.
right.
Anyway, another conversation, but very interesting.
Oh, no kidding.
We really grappled. So Laurel, no, the next person was about IT and the pay equity for women and men. Is there's such a gap, and they're doing the same job.
That's another. Oh, hold on that one. I think you can dig that one out. That conversation with Jordan Peterson. He says, "Okay, women equal to men. All right. Poor country, pay the same, do the same work.
Well, the interesting thing
And,
about the IT is that it doesn't require physical labor, just
yeah, on that field. Then anyway, yeah.
it's a new thing.
Then after that, it says the ship sinking. Woman first, child first, woman first. Where's the equality there, eh?
Well, why I found the IT or software discussion interesting was that it's a new thing. And are we moving with the times? It sounds like they're not. There's a difference in wage, and there's actually a sense that it's a male profession. Women are feeling potentially intimidated going in. So another time we'll talk.
Right.
And then the last one was Laurel, who has been very interested in media and watching detective shows over the years and looking back at the 50s. And this would be something Jordan Peterson could comment on as well. They portrayed the women cops back then as, really masculine. Things have changed where now when you watch detective movies, the women are strong.
Right.
They
Physically
work
fit
out,
and
but they have,
more feminine aspect.
So
Yeah.
is that an evolution, or it's so interesting to
Yeah, but
notice?
yeah, you mentioned cinematography. So it's Hollywood. They produce things to forming the mind of the people. Hollywood has also been all been with the government agency, CIA, and to pass some how to guide the sheep. Just pass me the words. How to guide or create a society.
A culture.
It's a culture, and music. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And other country adopt Elvis Presley or the culture, and this is why everything's moving forward and evaluate
Yeah.
because
And it's a
the
good thing.
thing changed. Look at the when I was kids, you hear the western bang bang. You don't see any blood. You see a person imitating has been shot and fell off. Now the graphic, it's so unreal.
Does
You see
Jordan Peterson have a position on this?
I didn't see anything yet about that,
But,
but it
yeah.
just tells you why they showed up. Our imagination can be good enough to figure if you hear a bang, a pistol, the guy fell off, okay, he's dead.
Yeah.
Why they take the time to show all the blood and the guts all over the place?
Yeah.
This is a purpose because if you get used to see those things, see the war action and things, you get used to that. And they show abortion, and now it's became banal. They talk about pedophilia. 10 years ago, man, pedophilia, you go in jail for the rest of your life. Now they want to change the meaning of pedophilia. It's more like adult deviation, minor, and make it more like minor, make more acceptable.
Because this is another big topic, but
That's where we go as a society.
Yeah, specifically the panel was about women, and so are women part of the decision making to trade certain ways? Well, we'll find out. It's a great conversation.
Well,
But equity, getting back to equity, playing fields, from my reading, what I understand is that we will create cultures in work and school where everybody feels respected and they have opportunity. Now, we're not sacrificing quality. And the example one of the websites said
yeah, that's good.
was, say, you've got a school that needs teachers. It's in a black district of the States. Two people apply, a black man and a white man. Hopefully you would pick the person for quality.
Qualified.
Although it was really interesting. I mean, I'm thinking maybe the students would respond better to a person of the same race. However, if we perpetuate poor quality in these schools and also robbing kids from seeing, you know, and learning other cultures too. So this is so exciting. This is what you're calling dialogue. This is what we need to do. Talk about these things. Open our minds, hear different points of view,
It's-
and be leaders in our community.
You mentioned about choosing the right person for the job.
One
Meeting.
person.
They're having a half female, half man, not necessarily qualified, but we had to have this one.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court in the state,
Yeah.
Joe Biden just nominated a black woman law at the
So
Supreme
they're
Court.
a little behind the times. It's catching up.
This is so wrong.
Just wrap it up. Yeah.
Yes. Well, there was that issue, and they call that positive discrimination. It is discrimination, but it's positive because the long-term is that that won't be necessary. But we have to create an equal playing field in order to show role models for other women, for other races. We have to talk the talk. But let's
Well,
stop
wait a minute.
here.
Give him,
Okay.
give him, Richard, the final
The
comment. We
final
got
say,
like
Richard.
one, just in a
Yeah.
couple sentences, three sentences at the most. You can wrap it up.
The playing field is that I'm afraid that's going to take away for the kids. We play soccer in the school, right? At the break time. Then to be fair and playing field, I will take those people like they having one leg, the other one is limping in our team,
Yeah.
and now we're not competitive. So you take that out the
We
picture.
have to-
So the kids grow up with, I cannot succeed too much because I'll be too high compared to the one too low. You take that out. This is one aspect of that
Equity.
equality.
Okay.
Equity.
Okay, so the,
Anyway.
can you just
But
wrap
you make
up?
a very good
Yeah,
point, Richard. It's such a huge thing. We have to make sure that we don't water down and the real.
And I'm afraid that's